Hey guys, welcome to the 81st C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at the linear search algorithm when only dealing with integer arrays. So the linear search algorithm that we write in this tutorial will allow you to search through an integer array for a certain key value. So you'll be giving our linear search algorithm an integer array, the length of that integer array, and then the key value to look for. And then the linear search algorithm will spit back the index of that key value inside of the array. If the key value is not inside of the array, then the linear search algorithm will spit back a -1 because -1 is just simply not a valid index. So if it gives you a -1 back, you'll just know that the key is not inside of the array. So now let's go ahead and take a look at an example. So right here we just have our key value is 19, and this right here is our array. So the linear search algorithm is very simple. All that it does is it starts at the very beginning of the array and compares the key value to the current element that it's at. So at the beginning of the array we have a 5 right here, and it compares the 5 with a 19. Since 19 and 5 are not equal, it just moves on to the next element. It's just looking for that key value. So it compares 19 with 3 again, they're not equal, so it just keeps moving on until it finds 19. So since the function finally found the key value, it just stops and returns the index that it's currently at. It's currently at the index of 5, so this function would return 5. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the function prototype for our linear search algorithm. So this is all that it's going to look like. It's going to return an int, which is just going to be the index of the key inside of the array, and we'll just go ahead and call our function linear search. And like I mentioned before, this function takes 3 parameters. The first is just going to be the integer array that we're looking through. The second parameter is the length of that array, and the last value is just going to be the key, so the value that we're looking for. And now for the whole function. It's pretty small. So all that this function is going to do is just look through the entire array. It starts at the very beginning of the array and compares every single value of the array to the key value until it finally finds the key. If it finds the key, then it just returns the index that it's at. If it goes through the entire array without finding the key, then it just returns -1, indicating that the key is not inside of the array. So let's just go ahead and go into CodeBlocks right here and test out the linear search algorithm. So just here is the function right here, and we already have an array written out for us. So we'll just go ahead and call the linear search algorithm on this nums array right here. So we'll say linear search, and we'll pass through nums as the array that we're looking through. And the length of the array is 5, since there are 5 elements inside of the array. And then the key value that we're looking for, we'll say, is 1. So we're looking for 1 inside of this array right here. And then we'll just go ahead and print out the return value onto the screen so that we can see what it is. So we'll say printf mod I, since this function returns an integer, so mod I, and the line, and then let's go ahead and print this out. So when we run this, we should get a 3 out onto our screen, since 1 is at the index of 3 inside of this nums array. So we run this, and out onto our screen we just get a 3. So it worked properly. Alright, but let's say that we were looking for some value that isn't inside of the array. Let's say that we were looking for the value 4, which isn't in our array. When we run this, we should get -1 because it obviously didn't find the value. And we do. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, so see you guys.